Warning! Warning! The following video is intended for educational and entertainment use only. The content will include disturbing images, violent scenarios, and explicit language. This video is intended for 18 plus and older audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
This just in, we have some breaking news. We usually cover the stories about Cosa Nostra and other different criminal activities that's happened in the Philadelphia region. One particular person that we like to go over is Kaboni Savage. Kaboni Savage is a Philadelphia drug kingpin. On June 3rd, 2013, he was convicted of 12 counts of murder in aid of racketeering for ordering 6 drug-related homicides, as well as a firebombing of the home of a federal witness, which killed 2 adults and 4 children. He is currently serving a life sentence. However, he has been commuted from the death penalty by the orders of President Joe Biden on December 23, 2024. This recent current events has really caused a huge division amongst the community, especially when it comes to the victims that Kaboni Savage is associated with. Now we will show you the breaking news from Channel 6 Action News.
7 federal inmates who were sentenced to die for their crimes will now instead spend the rest of their life in prison. President Biden moved today to commute their sentences, an act he said was guided by his conscience. One of those inmates, Philadelphia drug kingpin Kaboni Savage, convicted of the killing of 12 people, including 4 children. Those youngest victims died when Savage ordered the firebombing of the house where they lived in an act of retribution against a witness. Action News reporter Annie McCormick has details tonight and reaction.
Philadelphia's only federal death row inmate, Kaboni Savage, is no longer on death row. The former North Philadelphia drug kingpin joined 37 federal death row inmates commuted by President Joe Biden today.
I'm very disappointed at Joe Biden.
The news left Tina Fox and her family in shock.
This crime is beyond violent.
Inside this North 6th Street home in 2004, many of Fox's relatives were murdered at Savage's direction. Fox's cousin, Eugene Coleman, became a federal informant against Savage. The fire killed 2 adults, including Coleman's mother, and 4 children, including an infant.
They were children. They would have been adults now, but they don't have a say. You can't hear their voice, and they were killed innocently.
Savage was convicted of those murders that he ordered from prison. He was also found guilty in 6 other murders, including a man scheduled to testify against him and rival drug dealers.
The national trend has been going away from the death penalty.
Defense attorney Fortunato Perry Jr. does not represent Kaboni Savage, but said that Biden's announcement is not a surprise after seeing a major push by critics of the death penalty to abolish it nationwide. As for what this means for Savage moving forward,
that simply means that the individual will remain incarcerated with a life sentence as opposed to an effort to have him executed down the road. That's something that now can never happen.
In a statement, President Joe Biden said that America must move away from using the federal death penalty except in cases of terrorism or hate-motivated mass murder. In Center City, Annie McCormick, Channel 6 Action News.
And now we'll show you from the retired Philadelphia Inquirer reporter George Anastasia, who actually covered Kaboni Savage from his own Mob Talk show.
We're standing in front of the Federal Detention Center here at 7th and Arch Street in Philadelphia, which for probably the next year at least will be the home of Kaboni Savage, leader of a major cocaine operation, in fact described by the U.S. Attorney for Philadelphia as the leader of perhaps the most violent drug gang in the history of the city. Kaboni Savage is currently serving a 30-year sentence for drug trafficking in the Alcatraz of the Rockies out in Florence, Colorado. But he was indicted last month on racketeering and drug dealing charges that included 12 homicides. 6 of them involved the firebombing of the home of Marcella Coleman, the mother of an informant who was testifying against Kaboni Savage. She, another woman, and 4 children were killed in that blaze. That case is built in large part around about 100 secretly recorded conversations that were made the last time Kaboni was here, back in 2004, 2005.
That cat in the motherfucker, man, he gonna die a miserable death. And I hope I'm the cause of that motherfucker. I'm gonna torture his ass. I'm gonna set him on fire. Alive.
According to Kaboni Savage's own testimony, He was able to communicate with other inmates through the toilet bowls, by stopping up the toilet, taking the water out, and also communicating through the ventilation shafts. And the feds bugged the toilet bowls and the ventilation shafts, and were able to pick up over 100 conversations in which Savage talked about witness intimidation, talked about murdering individuals, talked about vengeance, and just vented his anger and frustration.
They kids got a pet for making my kids cry. I want to smack one of these 4-year-old sons in the head with a bat. I'm going to smack one of these 4-year-old sons in the head with a bat.
There's a certain irony in all of this, given the fact that on Mother's Day this year, Kaboni Savage's own 9-year-old daughter was killed in a gang-related shooting in York, Pennsylvania. Innocent little girl playing on the street. A couple guys in a street gang pull up in a car, step out and start firing randomly at rivals. She allegedly goes to shield her younger sister and is shot in the back.
And now we'll be going over our private interview at which George Anastasia discussed Kaboni Savage in our recent interview.
Having an impact on the city. The mob was no longer the dominant player in the underworld. And the drug underworld was certainly much more violent. And what was going on in the drug underworld was having a greater impact on society in general. So I spent more time writing about and reporting on that than Cosa Nostra at the end of my career at the Inquirer.
Speaking of that, since you brought on about Black and Hispanic, since you have done a lot on the Cosa Nostra, especially the ones that occurred in South Philadelphia during the Philly mob era, have you ever done anything more like on the Black Mafia, or some people dispute about the Black Mafia's existence?
I wrote several stories about the Junior Black Mafia when they were in play for a while. But separate and apart from that, I mean, the major stories I did at the end of my career were about a drug dealer in North Philly named Kaboni Savage, probably more violent than any mob boss I ever wrote about, and a really entrepreneurial drug operator in Southwest Philly named Alton Coles, nicknamed Ace Capone, and he had a major cocaine and crack network. And writing about those guys was not unlike writing about Angelo Bruno, Nicky Scarfer in their heyday. It was what I found in writing about it was neither law enforcement nor the public had the same perception of who those guys were, as opposed, everybody knew who Angelo Bruno was. Everybody knew who Nicky Scarfer was. Writing about Alton Coles, writing about Kaboni Savage, it was like I was introducing those characters to the public. If you get the point I'm making, is we tended to overlook major players in the underworld, and I wondered if that was systemic racism on our part, or just it was much easier. Everybody had a frame of reference when you're talking about the mafia.
And there you have it. Let us know in the comments below about what you think about President Joe Biden's decision in which this helped prevent the death penalty on Kaboni Savage. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know in the comments down below. And also, we would like to send our condolences to President Jimmy Carter's family. The former president has just passed away as of today at the age of 100. And we send our condolences to the Carter family, and may he rest in peace. Thank you so much for your time of this updated and breaking news.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more content. Feel free to give us your feedback and suggestions on who we should do next in the comments. This is Infinitely Productions. We love ya.